really need to get the new Goodreads app update. I keep hearing people talking about it, and like I feel like I'm behind or out of the loop or something. What? What do you want? Oh, I'll answer that later. I don't know what words are. Why can't I talk? What's going on? Hold on, I'm gonna have to find the author for this one too because I was not prepared for this part of the video for some reason. Hello. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a September TBR. I had completely forgotten that I needed to film this video. I actually had another video that I was planning to film today, and then I was looking at my calendar and I was like, today's today for me is the 28th, and August only has 31 days, which is like, I know that's on the higher side, but like I completely forgot. I just sort of assumed August was gonna last forever. I guess I thought I had one extra week, which is weird because it's like August has felt like it's taken so long, but also it hasn't. So I need to film this and put it up because it's like the perfect time right now, and then I'll do a summer wrap up as my Thursday video next week. But yeah, let's just get into it. I joined like a whole bunch of new book clubs. Well, I don't want to say joined for all of them because some of them it was just like I started following the Twitter account and I was like, oh, well this seems cool, so might as well just follow the Twitter account in case I ever want to do it. And that ended up being 14 different book clubs. So that's usually the amount of books that I read in a month in general. And I think I've talked about this before, but like the only reason that I don't do TBRs, like very, very strict TBRs, is because I need flexibility because I am a mood reader. And even book club books, I have a hard time getting myself to read because, like I said, mood reader, so I kind of just want to read whatever strikes my fancy as opposed to a specific book. And I'm trying to not like get over that, but like I'm trying to get to a point in my life where I feel like I can do both, to continue to read the books that I love and when I want to read them, but also read like more set TBRs, because I really hate it when I get really excited for a book and I get really excited for the book's release and then I don't read the book for a really long time. I've done that with quite a few books, and every time I feel like a horrible person because it's like I got so excited for the release and now I just haven't read it. So I'm trying to get better at like doing that and then also reading my monthly TBRs. Anyway, I'm gonna go through all of the books or book clubs. Some of the book clubs we haven't actually chosen the book yet, which is like concerning, and I've been trying to get them to choose their book because I would like to know what I'm reading in the next month and like what I need to pick up basically. But I'll go through the book clubs that I'm definitely 100% and like buddies and stuff participating in, and then I will go through some of the ones that I will be possibly participating in depending on stuff like if I can find the book and I don't know if it really does interest me, because a couple of the books I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I always talk about first the two book clubs that I do on Instagram. One of them is with my friend Anna, and the other one's with my friend Marty. I don't know why I said that so quietly. The book club with Anna, we haven't chosen the book yet, although we should today. The other book club that's with Marty is, our September book is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. I feel like everyone knows about this book. I think Reese Witherspoon has like a YA book club, and this was her first pick for September. This book sold out completely on Amazon, which is like, I've never seen a book sell out on Amazon when it was released back in June. So, she was the main character name. It's about a girl named Liz who goes to this very small town high school, and her only direction in life is that she doesn't want to be at this small town high school. She wants to leave her town, she wants to get out of there, but she doesn't have the financial capabilities of getting to the university she wants to. Basically, she applied for some scholarships, but she didn't get them. At first, she's like really upset because she's like, my family can't pay for me to go to this school. I can't pay for me to go to this school. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then she remembers that at her high school, whoever wins prom king and queen get a scholarship to whatever school they're going to. So she goes on this campaign to become prom queen so that she can get the scholarship so she can go to her school. And this sort of starts going awry when one of the other girls who's campaigning for prom queen is a sort of newer girl in town named Mac, and Liz starts falling for her. Yes, this book is sapphic. I did say that this is an LGBTQ plus book club, right? We only read LGBTQ plus books, so like, of course. I've been really looking forward to reading this book since June, and then at the end of June, Marty announced the July, August, and September books, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll wait until September to read this, and I'm just really excited I'm finally gonna get to it because it looks amazing. Okay, I feel like my hair is doing weird things. The next two book clubs chose the same book somehow, so I'm just gonna talk about them both at the same time. They are the Sapphic Book Club, which my friend Sasha over at Midnight Books runs. I will leave links to any of the more public book clubs that are on this list. A couple of these are just sort of group chats that I'm in, and so like I can't really put you guys in there if you want. I mean, if you want to be in them, DM me on Instagram, but like I'll leave links to the ones that have pages like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. But for both the Sapphic Book Club and the Phase and Gaze Book Club, which the only host I can ever remember is Maddie from Book Browsing Blog, because I watch her YouTube channel and I don't remember who the other hosts are, but like I said, links. And for both of those clubs, they chose Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. It's kind of fun to say. Anyway, all that I know about this book is that it's a Cinderella retelling, but also like futuristic, because it's basically like it's set in the society where the story of Cinderella first happened, and the words. Basically, it's been like a lot of years since the Cinderella story happened, and what happens now is that all of the girls in the area have to go to a ball with all of the guys and like choose a suitor by the end of the ball, or a suitor chooses them. But if they don't have sort of a partner by the end of the night, or like by a couple days later, the girls just disappear and they're never heard from again. So it sounds really intriguing. I've heard mixed reviews. I feel like I hear some people who really love it, and I've heard some people who were a little bit more meh about it, which makes me a little bit nervous, but I think it'll be okay. Either way, I think it's going to be a really interesting read, and I'm really excited to get to discuss it with both of the book clubs. Next is a book club that just got announced, and that is the Late Night Book Club. If y'all haven't heard of it, I don't know what rock you've been living under, because I feel like that's all I've seen on like my Instagram, some of my YouTube pages, on Twitter, but maybe it's just the people that I'm following, I don't actually know. But this book club is run by Elias, Joel, and Noelle. All three of them are collaborating on a book club. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description as well as a link to each of their channels. The book for this month is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. In case you can't tell, I'm reading all the Sapphic books in September, which I'm pretty sure Sapphic September is like kind of a thing, so not mad about it. But anyway, and I know that like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo had such hype so long ago, and like I'm definitely behind. I do own it though. I think it was in a book haul from last November, I want to say. I bought it at Gaze the Word in London, because if you didn't know, it's queer. And I'm really intrigued because I know that Taylor Jenkins Reid got a lot of hype like back in 2018, 2019, or maybe it was 2018, 2017. Like right around the release of Seven Husbands and then going into the release of Daisy Jones. And if you guys didn't know, I read Daisy Jones and the Six back in April for a readathon that I was doing then. And I really enjoyed it. I read it all in one day, and it was just like mind-blowing. So I think that reading this Taylor Jenkins Reid book is going to be really interesting too, because I've heard that this one is just as mind-blowing, if not more mind-blowing. I feel like people generally like Daisy Jones more than Seven Husbands, but I feel like also Seven Husbands has, or I shouldn't call it Seven Husbands, I should call it Evelyn Hugo, but I feel like Evelyn Hugo has a similar amount of hype as Daisy Jones does, so I'm really curious to get to read it and to get to sort of see where I land on that scale. Okay, the next group is the Literary Society of Alexandria, and this group was created a couple of months ago, like when lockdown first happened. It was like a way for a bunch of bookish people to sort of hang out. We have a Discord. It's kind of inactive now. I think that this, like, having a monthly book is like kind of their way of trying to revive it. And the book does sound really interesting, so I'm probably going to be picking it up and reading it this next month. The book is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, which, if you didn't know, earlier this month I read The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, and it was amazing. It was a beautiful book. I loved the writing, I loved the world building, I loved the characters. And I had already sort of told myself that I wanted to read more N.K. Jemisin even before this book was announced, so the fact that it's the book club pick is like, thank you, because I really want to read this book, and I'm very excited for it. I have no idea what this book is about. I don't want to know. I know the cover makes it look fantasy. I know that The City We Became was more urban fantasy-ish because it was set in New York, but it did have a lot of fantastical elements. I don't know how fantasy-ish the fifth season is, but I am really excited to get to read it. The next book club I need to talk about is the One More Chapter book club, which does have a Twitter, so links. And for that book club, we are reading, oh, I should probably go grab it because I do own it. The Falling in Love Montage by Ciara Smith, which I have already read and loved. So I am really excited to get to do the discussion with them. The Falling in Love Montage is about Saoirse and Ruby, and they're both about to go off to university, and Saoirse is dealing with a lot at home. Her parents are kind of separated. Saoirse's mother has an early form of Alzheimer's, and she had to be put in a home. And so Saoirse and her father have been living, together in their house for a while, but Saoirse's about to go off to college or university, and it's like the summer before university, and she's just sort of ready. She's tired of getting her heart broken, is sort of the premise. Like, her girlfriend broke up with her a couple of months ago, right around the time her mother had to go into a home, and she's been fighting a lot with her dad. She doesn't have a lot of friends at school because when her girlfriend broke up with her, her best friend also sort of stopped talking to her. And so she's just like kind of tired of everything and just wants to do something fun and exciting and doesn't want to have to deal with all of these heavy things in her life. And Ruby is the cousin of one of Saoirse's frenemies-ish from school. He's not like a huge frenemy. They're sort of rivals, but they sort of have like a friendship-ish. I don't really know how to describe it. But basically, Ruby's from London, but she's in Ireland for the summer, and the two of them decide that they want to have like a falling in love montage where they do all of the fun things that people do in rom-coms, like in the falling in love montage, like going to fun fairs, going on a boat ride, having a movie night, stuff like that. And they decide that that's all it's going to be. They're not going to actually be in a relationship. Obviously, that's not actually going to happen because, like, that's just how books work. And there's a lot more talked about in this book than just their relationship, because obviously books have layers. But yeah, this book is amazing. So I'm really excited to get to discuss it with the book club. And the funniest thing about this book club is that some people in it, sorry, I know you can't see me, we're talking about how, like, oh, what if we've already read the falling in love montage? Can we have like a backup book? And so we decided that our backup book would be Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Bashardoust, which is a book that I need to read. I'm trying to read this by the end of the month. So I'm just ahead of the game. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then the next book club that is sort of a group chat that I have with some friends on Twitter. In that book club, we're reading Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which, if you weren't around in May, I read this book in May as a buddy read with some people on Instagram. So once again, I loved it, and I'm really excited to get to talk about it with these people, but it also means that, like, that's one less book that I actually need to read in the month, which is like, it's kind of weird, but it's fine. Vicious is about the society where near-death experiences can give you supernatural abilities, and it centers around Victor and Eli, who were the first people to sort of discover this phenomena 15 years ago, and then in the present of the book, Victor is just getting out of prison, and he's basically on a manhunt for Eli, but you don't really know why. So the book is set in the past and in the present, talking about each of the characters sort of getting to know them and sort of leading up to this final altercation between the two. It's a really fascinating book about good and evil and what makes a good person or an evil person and stuff like that. And I honestly thought it was amazing, and I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion to have with other people, even though I'm probably not going to reread it because I don't have the physical copy here. Another book club that I'm doing, we still haven't picked our book. It's probably either going to be... Hold on, let me pull them out. Whoops. It's probably either going to be The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune, With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, or Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah, I think we're gonna pick that today, so I'll make a clip. Okay, so I'm just gonna record this really quick on my phone. I didn't take the time to take out my camera. I'm sorry, but like, this just seems so much easier. We finally picked a book. After a long poll, we picked Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which I have already read, so there's that. And I don't know if I'm gonna do a reread. I did just reread it last November, and it's not that great of a book. Like, it's not one that I want to reread over and over again. So I probably won't reread it this month. I'll probably just discuss with them at the end, but it's nice to have that one decision made. Yeah. And then finally, I am doing a buddy read with my friend Sasha over at Midnight Books. I feel like we're always doing buddy reads, but also like that's just what we do. And the book that we're reading is The Dark Tide by, I'm gonna say that it's Alicia Jasinska. I don't know anything about this book. I think it has to do with mermaids because, as you guys can probably see, there's a pretty wave on the cover. And I know that it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. So yeah, I'm gonna read it. I really don't know much else about it, but like, those are the books that I'm planning on reading this month. Those are the ones that I'm really going to be trying to read. I will mention some of the other book clubs, but I'm going to mention them more briefly just because like I'm really not planning on participating in them, but like maybe if I decide that the book is something I want to pick up. The first one is the In the Margins book club, which focuses on reading books by marginalized authors, and their book pick is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, which, as you guys may or may not know, I read back in June. Talked about it in one of my June wrap-ups because I needed two because June was a hell of a month. And like, I thought it was alright. I think that it did some good things, but it also could have done some things a lot better. And I think that it would be a really interesting discussion. If you didn't know, All Boys Aren't Blue is a memoir manifesto that's sort of about the author growing up in a Black family and having to suppress the fact that they were gay and like coming to terms with that and all of that stuff. It's an interesting book, and I think that the discussion will be really interesting, which is why I might try to partake in it. But yeah, another book club is the Diverse Stabbers book club, and their book club pick for September is Mexican Gothic. Shoot, I don't remember who it's by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I've been seeing this a lot in the world. I know that it's sort of like a mystery horror thriller book. I don't know exactly the genre. Because I've seen it everywhere, I'm sort of intrigued and I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to pick it up, but horror and thrillers really are not my genre. I avoid them almost at all costs. I think I've read one? I don't know. But like, I basically avoid that genre almost at all costs. And so that's sort of why I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up, but it also sounds kind of cool. So like, I don't know. So it's like tentatively on there, but it depends on whether I can find a copy, how expensive the copy is, and whether I'm actually going to be in the mood to read it, because obviously that's a big factor for me. So the next book club I want to mention is the Bibliophiles book club, which is another book club that focuses on featuring authors of minorities. And this month, their book club pick is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I'm gonna say Vuong, but I'm not sure if that's right. And once again, I don't know anything about this book. From the people that I've heard talk about it and love it, I'm not sure how much I'm going to enjoy it. I know that sounds weird, but basically the people that I've heard talk about it and enjoy it aren't people who I really share reading tastes with. And it sounds like a really like literary fiction sort of book, and I know that like I'm trying to get more into literary fiction because of like The Vanishing Half and stuff, but like I'm still kind of wary of it. And so I'm not really sure if I'm going to be picking it up, but again, like it is a book club that I was interested in joining, still am interested in sort of participating in, and I don't know about the book. So these book clubs are just sort of like the books that were chosen for them weren't books that I was super excited for, and I already had like 10 other book clubs that I was participating in, so it felt kind of weird to put them on my TBR too because of the way I was thinking about reading them or not. Our next book club that I want to mention is the Latinx book club. And technically it's not for September, they're reading it for Latinx Heritage Month, which is September 15th to October 15th. And in that book club, they are reading By Any Means Necessary by Candace Montgomery, which is like, once again, I don't know anything about it. I think I have it marked as want to read on GOODREADS. It says for fans of Nick Stone and Elizabeth Acevedo, which like, I feel like I haven't read either of the authors, but I would be a fan of their work. I don't know. Apparently it's about a bee farm and foreclosure. I don't know, it sounds like sort of I don't want to be like that person, but it sort of sounds like a contemporary that is the sort of thing I've read before, and I am usually a lot more into fantasies than contemporaries, so yeah. Plus it's not gay as far as I know, which is like, that's a big selling point for me, so. And then finally, the last book club I want to mention is the Envy Book Club, which is run by Jessie over at Bowties and Books on Instagram, but they haven't chosen a book for September, so it also depends on what the book is, but like if they don't choose a book, like that's fine, I guess I just won't participate this month, but it's like tentatively on there depending on the book that they choose. So yeah, those are all of the books that I'm either definitely planning on or like sort of looking at reading in the next month. September is gonna be a weird month for me because I feel like a lot of weird stuff, like my birthday, I'm moving, school's supposed to be starting, I'm gonna be looking at getting a job, all of that stuff. So I feel like it's gonna be a weird reading month for me, but I'm hoping that I can still get a lot of these books done. Also, I feel like my hair has been insane this entire video, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm still learning how to deal with it, because I've never had it short before like this. This is now the third time I filmed this because the last 2 times I tried to film it, my memory card deleted it. Love that for me, but I deleted all the videos off my memory card, so I should have enough space to actually do this. I really hope it actually gets filmed this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, I'm not actually currently reading anything. I finished a book last night and I didn't pick up a new one, But my plan is either going to be to pick up Camp by Elsie Rosen or Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Basherdoost. Oh my god, I said it first try. As you guys may or may not know, Girl Serpent Thorn is on my TBR for this month. I'm trying to finish it by, for you guys, tomorrow. For me, Monday, that's in 4 days. But when you guys see this video, tomorrow on Monday, because it was a book club pick for this month, and this is the only book that I haven't read from this month's TBR. So I'd really like to actually get to this one. But I've been really into reading, like, just sort of books with LGBTQ plus characters that, like, are happy. I don't know, like, this book has LGBTQ plus characters too. It's not that. I don't know why this book is drawing me in so much. I just have been really wanting to read it recently. I love the cover, and I keep hearing people talk about it, and I keep thinking, like, wow, I wish I could, like, comment on it and be like, oh my god, I know that book is amazing, but I can't because I haven't read it. So there's that. But this book also doesn't look like it'll be that intense of a read, so I'm hoping I can finish these ones this weekend, basically. You guys will see what I do for my weekly reading vlog, which should be out in 2 days from when you see this video, because it should be out on Tuesday. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below if you know of any book clubs that feature, like, fantasy sci-fi books, especially ones that are, like, more backlisted or less well-known. I know that I shouldn't be adding any more book clubs to my roster because I have a lot, but in case you didn't notice, a lot of those book clubs actually feature, like, the same or similar books, because most of them feature books with LGBTQ plus representation in the characters, and they also are oftentimes new releases. So I keep running into this roadblock of, oh, I've already read that book. Oh, 2 book clubs are doing the same book. And so, like, yes, of course that's great, because it's like, that's one more book club you have to participate in, and one less book that I have to read. But I do actually enjoy reading book clubs for books. And, like, discussing a book, especially for the first time with a book club. So it'd be really nice to actually find some book clubs that were featuring books that I hadn't read or even that I haven't heard of. I really enjoy that. So yeah. Also, just let me know if you're in a book club and what you think of it, because I think it's really fun. And I would honestly love to start a book club and, like, do live shows and stuff, but I already have so many. And I don't know anyone who want to do it with me. So if you would want to start a book club with me and we can do live shows, I would be very down. I've never done that before in my life and I never want to do it again. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye! Fuck, get me out of there. I think I'm going to use my reading journal. Even though you guys didn't see it, it's kind of like this is where I keep my want to reads and stuff. So I feel like using it is like, this looks weird, doesn't it?